Hi friends! Today I'm going to show you how I do my makeup for my dance competitions. It's important to note that every studio and every team does things quite differently, but I wanted to show you what I generally do and some techniques I use that actually make me feel a bit better in such crazy makeup. So if you're interested, keep watching. Also, I'm fully aware that I have a little bit of makeup on right now, like I have my eyeliner going on, but I'm just going to start from the very beginning as if I don't have anything on. So obviously the first most important thing is to actually have a good skin routine, so just making sure that your skin is prepped and ready. Then I'm gonna go in with my Say Super Glowy Gel, and this is just a primer that helps keep your makeup on. So just use a little bit of that and blend it in. Do I look glowy? And then next you want to go in with a really good foundation. So I use this Tier Cushion foundation, and this one has very good coverage, but it's also not too drying or too dewy. And with this, you actually want to like cake this on. You want your base to be really solid because you are going to layer on so many other products. And also keeping in mind that you are sweating because you're performing. So using high coverage things will definitely help make your makeup last longer. After foundation, I like going in with a powder, and this one's from Hourglass. It's the Veil Translucent Setting Powder. And for this step, I'm just using the foundation side of this Sephora brush. Now for powder, I like to powder my entire face with a higher focus on like the T-zone or places where I sweat more easily. So for me, that's gonna be like my forehead over here, my nose, and anywhere around there, and also above my lip. But overall, I like taking it everywhere just because, again, you are dancing, you are performing, so using powder everywhere is just gonna help set everything in place. And also with the bright lights, you don't wanna actually shine because then it's gonna like flash off of you. And the reason we do so much makeup when we're on stage is because you wanna see your facial features, and so the powder actually helps kind of tone down how much the stage lights wash you out. So now you should look a lot more matte. My next step is to go in with this Fenty Beauty contour stick. And for me, I like to take this across my cheekbone like this, along my temples, near my forehead, on my nose bridge, and then on my nose as well, and also my jawline. Okay, sorry, I look crazy. For this step, it's important. Should I blend this out first and then talk? Yeah. So for this step, it's important to note that, like, again, you want to highlight your features, so you might not be putting your contour in the same parts that I am. But again, with the focus and understanding that the lights are going to wash you out, you need to make this so dramatic. Something I like to say is whatever looks good on stage will probably not look good in reality. So like that means exaggerating every single thing and making things so much more dramatic than what they should normally be. Okay, and then now you should be a little bit more like sculpted, and your face should have a little bit more dimension. After that, I like going in with a powdered contour palette thing. This one is from Romand. So with the powder, I just place it again on top of where I put the cream contour. And just like we did for the foundation part, this is kind of just setting in the cream product, so again, you don't sweat and move the product around. And this also just helps to intensify wherever you did exaggerate your contour. Okay, now that you look twice as matte, I'm gonna go in with my blush. So this may be a little bit crazy, but this is a lip gloss from the brand Style Nanda. I'm gonna put some on my finger, and then I'm gonna tap it into like the places right above where I highlighted my cheekbones. And I'm gonna take any excess on my forehead. Okay, I don't know if you can tell, but because that was a lip gloss, you can kind of see a shine. So you're gonna see this pattern often, but basically every time I use a cream product, I'm gonna put a powdered product of like the same version on top. So for my blush, I'm using one from Wake Make, and again, this is just a powdered blush that I'm gonna layer on top of where I put the lip gloss. So again, I'm just taking a brush and tapping the product in above where I just put the lip gloss. And oftentimes I hear people say like, oh, my face turns really red after performing and like when I sweat. But after having done your foundation step properly, that should not be the case. Like your redness should not show through. And so you're gonna want to actually exaggerate that through the blush. And once again, you should look really matte after that step. So just to bring in that like natural glow, you're gonna want to go in with a highlighter. I'm gonna use this highlighter. It's from the brand Clio. And as you can tell, it's another powder product. So the places I like to highlight are above like the cheekbone area, under my brow bone, my nose, and I think that's it. So again, don't go like too overboard with this part because of the stage lights. They are so bright, so you don't want to overdo it with the highlighter because then all the previous steps we did, there's no point in doing all of that. So make sure you control how much you put on for this particular step. Okay, and for me, the next step is to do my eyebrows. So thankfully, I've been blessed with darker eyebrows, so technically I can draw less, But I will say, even though I do have quite thick eyebrows, on the stage they do tend to get washed out a little bit, so I still go in with an eyebrow pencil. The one I'm using is from the brand Romand, and again, this is just another eyebrow pencil, and it's in the color dark brown. Okay, so for me, what I like to do is just extend my eyebrows out a little bit more and also fill in places where my eyebrows are slightly sparse. I don't know if you can tell, but like my left eyebrow, this little section is like way more sparse than over here. So I'm gonna fill that part in, but also for the tails, I'm gonna actually extend them outwards a little bit just to exaggerate the way they appear. I don't know if you can tell right now, but this eyebrow is definitely more elongated. And again, I filled in this area, so it kind of matches the depth I have going on my right side. Okay, once I'm done with that, I go in with a brow gel. This one's from Etude, and actually this color is lighter than my actual brow. So for me, I just find that because my natural eyebrow hairs are a little bit darker and the pencil is a little bit lighter than my actual eyebrow hairs, this just helps blend in the tones. And again, this is a gel, so it will hold your eyebrows up as well. I don't know if you can tell, but I just brushed them up and they're holding a lot more of like a different shape now. So again, you just want to focus on highlighting your natural features and bringing them out against the stage lights. Okay, for me, the next step is to work on my eyeshadow. And so for me, the first step is to use this shade right over here. My palette is from Wake Make, but technically you can use any type of light brown shade to kind of use as a base color for your eyeshadow. So what I like to do is take a really light fluffy brush and then just use a light brown shade to set as the first layer for the heavy eyeshadow I'm gonna layer on top of that. Okay, and for me and my eye shape, I like taking it up to my crease area. I kind of like don't have a crease, so I just bring it up to around like the middle area between my eye and my eyebrow. I also take this underneath my eye as well. And for a lot of people, I know that it's like kind of scary to go in with like darker eyeshadows and all of that. The biggest key is to like layer on small amounts of the product, because if you go in all at once, it's actually harder to blend. So again, just focusing on layering slowly and building the product onto your skin. And again, what looks crazy in person is gonna look good on stage. Okay, now that there's a little bit more depth into your eye, I like to go in with a darker brown eyeshadow to kind of intensify it a bit more. So I'm using this really old MAC eyeshadow palette, and I'm gonna go in with this color right here. All these eyeshadows that I am using are all matte powders. So with a slightly denser brush, I'm gonna go in with that darker brown and again, layer it on to around the same parts that I mentioned earlier. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I have to go to like normal rehearsals after this, so I'm kind of holding back on how crazy this is, but just know that even this look is a bit more buildable. I'm gonna go back into this palette, but use the darker brown shade over here. And with this color, again, I'm using a way more dense brush and building it not to around the mid area, but a little bit above. So again, you're not building this too far up your eyelid, but closer to your lash line. And again, I like taking this product underneath my eye as well. I'm not building it all the way into my inner corner. I'm just leaving it to around the midsection. Okay, and then this is the type of intensity you want to kind of reach. So this is something I personally do. This is not like an enforced thing. And again, it just has to do with like my preferences and my eye shape. I like to draw a line underneath where like your smile is. And for me, I just find that this actually helps like bring out my eye shape, but also like keep the intensity a little bit higher. Then also with that, I'm gonna go in with a lighter angled brush and these two light shades of the same palette I used for the base color of my eyeshadow. And then I'm just gonna highlight that little midsection I have in between my smile line. And again, that's just personal preference, so try it if you want to. Okay, for me, my next step is to go in with eyeliner. I'm gonna go in with my Dior pencil liner, and this one is waterproof, so again, that just helps with the whole keeping your makeup in place even while you're sweating. For me, I like to work this from my inner corner and also build it towards my outer corner. I am gonna work on my outer wing with a separate product later, so I'm not gonna be too worried about that. And again, you just kind of want this to be a little bit messy to keep that intensity going in your eyes. I'm gonna do this off camera or else I might poke my eye out. Once you're done with that step, my next step is to go in with a waterproof eyeliner, and this one is a pen liner. And with this product, I'm just gonna focus on the outer wing. So for me, I like to take this sideways, so I don't wing it up or down or anything like that. I just take it right straight across my eye. Okay, and the next step is probably just me being extra, but I like to set it with a black powder. So I'm going in with this one from Sephora. It's a matte black eyeshadow, and I'm using a dense angled brush. So again, you're just putting that in the exact spots where you just drew the wing. And for me, I like to also kind of like blend this upwards and out. That way it also deepens your eye look. So again, that just means taking it up and above the eyeline. Okay, now your eyeliner should be sharp. Next thing I like to do is actually focus on like the bottom part of my eye. I'm gonna go back in with that eyebrow pencil, and what's interesting about this product is that if you unlock this part of the product, a little like smudger appears like that, and this actually does have product on it. So I'm gonna use this part to again just draw the under part of my eye and keeping it and I'm gonna focus on keeping it close to my lash line, but again, not crossing the midsection of my eye. I'm gonna get a little closer, but I don't know if you can tell, my eyes look a lot more intense. That step is actually kind of nice because it connects where you drew your outer wing for your top lash line and just connecting it to the bottom. Okay, so the next step for me is to put on false lashes. But like I said, today I have rehearsals after this and I don't want to do that. So I'm just gonna curl my lashes and use a waterproof mascara, but I'm gonna insert a picture right here of what I usually use. It's from the Sephora collection. It's the hipster lash. So for me and my eye shape, I don't like eyelashes that like wing outwards just because it takes away from everything I just put effort into for my eye makeup. I prefer lashes that just wing upwards, so nothing like to the side, nothing too inwards, just straight up. And a little secret is that that actually hides all the mistakes you did for your eyeshadow, so... And I usually put those lashes on without doing mascara, without like curling my lashes up. No one's gonna be able to tell which ones are my real lashes and which ones aren't from the stage, so like whatever, personal preference there, but that's just me. But for today I am gonna curl my lashes with a curler, and then I'm gonna go in with this Kill Lash waterproof mascara in the color black. Okay, so I just did my mascara and like curled my lashes off camera, and I don't know if you can tell, but again, that just brings out so much more depth for your eyes. Wait, this eats. But yeah, when your eyelashes are up, it makes your eyes appear a lot more open and awake. Okay, and the final step for me is to focus on my lips. Every studio, every team, whatever you're on, is going to have like an official color that you're supposed to use. For my team, we're using this red shade. It's from CoverGirl in the shade 430 Iconic Ruby. What I like to do is I like to go in with a lip tint. This one's from Peri Para in the shade number 8. And for me, the most important thing for my lips is to make everything last longer. So this is actually like a full-on tint. This will stain. So I like putting that especially on like the inner portions of my lips, just to make sure that even if the lipstick does rub off, there is still color showing through. So again, just putting that on. Also, this is a great product to use to kind of like line the outer parts of your lips if that's something that you want to look into. And for me, I tend to lose a lot of color on like my upper lip, so I like doing a little bit more near my cupid's bow. That way the color actually stays on. Also, another thing that actually helps with maintaining the color of your lipstick within a frame is to use a lip liner. This one is from L'Oreal. It's a lip liner in the shade 635 Worth It Medium. I'm just gonna outline the border of my lip line with this just to contain the lipstick within that area. And once you're done with that, your lips should be holding so much more color and also so much more shape. And then the scariest part is using this deep red lipstick shade to just kind of go over all of that. And I usually start by just tapping this on like so. Okay, and that's already one coat of that. Okay, and some of you might have matte lipsticks, some of you might have more like creamy ones. The one I have right now is creamier, so a little hack for you. Take a tissue paper roll thing and then just press your lips together over here. That way it actually takes away that like sheen and makes your lipstick matte and last longer. So you should be left with something like this. And my lips already look so much more matte. Okay, and that's what you should be left with. Again, this is not as intense as I usually would do for stage because I am going somewhere else after this, but these are the basic steps that I do follow. Feel free to build it up from here, add different techniques that you use that obviously work on your face, but the overall effort and intensity and consistency of this routine is what is normally expected. So make sure you follow through with that because that is part of the artistry of dance. No matter how good your dancing is, if your face isn't giving the same energy or the same consistency, the artistry is broken. So again, just taking the time to learn how to do makeup to fit your face and the way that you want to express your features is crucial in perfecting the art of dance. That's just my opinion, but I'm holding you responsible. So again, these are just some techniques that worked for me. Some of these may work for you, some of them might not work for you. So again, like I said earlier, feel free to take away or contribute depending on what you want to focus on. But yeah, that's the overall gist of how I do my makeup for comp. If you stayed till the end, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you feel a lot more confident in your comp makeup. See you next time. Bye!